You remember moments when something important happened to you and no one noticed. Not a crisis, just a quiet need that stayed unmet. You learned early that reacting too strongly made things uncomfortable, so you stopped reacting at all. You still feel a faint embarrassment about that need. Not because it was wrong, but because it existed at all. Even now, you hesitate before sharing emotions, as if you're checking whether they're allowed. Society has a name for people like you. Independent, low maintenance, sometimes even emotionally strong. But those labels miss something important. They describe how you appear, not how you adapted. They don't see the cost of becoming someone who doesn't expect emotional support. What actually formed in you wasn't emotional absence. It was emotional self-reliance. A nervous system that learned early, I handle this myself. Psychologically, this is not detachment, it's adaptation. Your mind reorganized itself around predictability instead of comfort. Many people assume emotional support is a luxury, but for a developing brain, it's calibration. When it's inconsistent or missing, the system compensates. That compensation shaped how you process closeness, stress, and identity. Not loudly, quietly, and permanently. People who grew up without much emotional support often share a specific cluster of traits. They're not common, and they're rarely explained accurately. 1. You monitor yourself constantly. Not out of insecurity, but habit. You learn to scan your own emotions because no one else reliably did. You notice shifts in your mood before others would. You catch discomfort early. This internal monitoring once kept you safe from disappointment. 2. You feel deeply, but privately. Your emotional range is wide. You just don't externalize it easily. When emotions weren't welcomed, you learned to process them internally. Over time, depth moved inward. What others call reserved is often unshared intensity. 3. You struggle to ask for help even when you deserve it. Not because you think you shouldn't need it, but because your system doesn't expect it to arrive. Depending on others still feels abstract. Like a language you understand intellectually but don't speak fluently. Self-sufficiency became the default setting. 4. You read emotional environments with precision. Tone shifts, pauses, unspoken tension. This isn't intuition, it's pattern recognition. When emotional feedback was inconsistent, you learned to predict instead. Awareness replaced reassurance. 5. You value emotional honesty more than emotional intensity. You don't need grand expressions, you need accuracy. You can sense when emotions are performative. Because growing up, you needed emotions to mean something. Empty reassurance was worse than silence. These traits didn't appear randomly. They formed in an environment where emotional needs were minimized, delayed, or overlooked, sometimes unintentionally. Modern life often praises this adaptation. It rewards people who don't need much, who don't interrupt systems with emotional requirements. But the origin matters. This pattern didn't come from strength alone, it came from necessity. Looking forward, this emotional architecture has an edge. You remain composed in uncertainty. You tolerate ambiguity without collapsing. You don't rely on constant validation to function. You're capable of depth without external reinforcement. In unstable environments, this trait survives. Still, it shapes your identity quietly. You often feel different without knowing why, not broken, just configured differently. If this resonates, it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because your nervous system learned a rare way to operate, one built on internal grounding rather than external reassurance. You don't need to change this to understand it. Understanding is enough to name it, and naming it can be a quiet form of recognition. If you've always felt emotionally self-contained without choosing to be, this may be the pattern you've been living inside. And now, you know what it's called.